What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's Thursday. The big thing. It's just me and Roxy today. I'm digging it. Are you digging it? Good. You should. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to go over what we think or who we think has the best chance to bounce back. Is it Marvel? Is it DC? Is it Star Wars? Is it none of them? Who's got the best shot? But right before we start shooting, there was news that Moana 2 is coming out. Not the live action. We know that's coming out. But Moana 2 is coming out. And not only is it coming out this year. That's bizarre. That never happens. Usually it's always like, it'll be out in next year, year after. This is like a couple months, 7 months, whatever it is. But still, people, they've been working on it. They've been keeping it quiet. How'd they keep it quiet? So we'll get into that. We'll talk about some other things. We'll talk about the TV stuff. That's really what I want to get into. Dive into some TV. I watched some stuff that Roxy recommended finally. I got my thoughts on it. And we'll talk about why I missed watching the Grammys. And I think Roxy missed them too, which is bizarre. But we'll talk about that. So if you're brand new to the channel, hit that button. Subscribe to the channel. Right now, currently, as I am recording this, we are at 124,483. So hopefully, after the Bob Marley out of the theater reaction and a few other things, more people are being part of the conversation. So if you come on in here to see what the hell we're talking about, be part of it each and every week. Trying to get to 200 faster than we got to 100. So let's get into it, man. It is the big thing. It's me and Roxy. Here we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 'Tis the big thing. Myself, Roxanne Striar, us. How happy are you that I have all these now sitting around? And
are they not a sponsor yet?
No, they need to be.
They need to be because all I want to do is talk about them.
I know. You know what's funny about that is I actually wrote to our ad agency, who's just wonderful, and said, please try to get them.
Yeah.
Like I have 87 of them just sitting in my fridge right now.
Because I'm not ready to rep them till they're ready to rep us. But once they're ready to rep us, I'm going to rep them so
hard.
heavy.
I know, it's true.
You know what's interesting about your shots?
What?
So creatively, why am I center, but you are so far over?
What do you mean here?
Like you're the rule of thirds. No, to go to your solo.
Oh, right there?
Yeah.
Well,
you know, is it because you're the leader?
No, sometimes I'd go like this.
Because I do like it when you're over to the side. It looks good.
Yeah, the reason I do that is because I'm just so used to if I'm doing like I did a trailer reaction for
putting the things there.
Yeah, and so I did a trailer for A Quiet Place. Did you watch the trailer?
No.
Day one, it's good.
Didn't know it came out.
Dropped. Yeah, it dropped.
I love Quiet Place 1 and 2.
You'll love it. The day one's really good. I wasn't even, not that I wasn't excited for it. I was just like, oh, I'll see it when it comes out. But now I'm like actually excited for it.
Who's it following? John Krasinski?
No, Lupita Nyong'o.
Oh, day one, nothing to do with the day ones of our people.
The only person that returns is Jaimin Hansu from the second one. Uh-huh. So it looked real. I mean, it was a really good trailer.
But it is a prequel, right?
Yes, day one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like...
It's interesting to go back, but go somewhere else.
Because I think that the whole reason that they're able to do that is because, and I had said this in the trailer reaction itself, is you don't really know what's happening. You're like, well, you assume, well, she probably has to die. It's like, not really. They could probably, I think they're going to share universe her, and then her and Emily Blunt will wind up meeting up in part 3, I would assume.
And getting it on.
Is that what you want?
I don't know.
Okay.
We're both really cute.
Hey.
They're two awesome action stars, so maybe they should fight first.
Yeah.
And then get it on.
Hey.
I'm a teenage boy. I don't know what happened.
Hey, you listen, you got to go for what you want.
He says, is that what you want?
Yeah. Go for it. Is that what you want?
Okay.
Cheer it on.
Say what you want.
Hey, man. What else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, you asked me before we started shooting if I watched the...
Grammys, you said,
don't
ask me now, ask me later.
Because I want to see what your reaction to is. This is like kind of, you would assume I would have this reaction. Mm-hmm. Sadie, that's the only award show that Sadie really, my wife, really cares about. Like that.
Is she a big music girl?
Yeah, she loves music, so she loves watching the performances and all that stuff. So it's like the one that if the Golden Globes or the Oscars are on, she'll watch them and she goes, oh, okay, sure, yeah, we'll watch them tonight. But like that's the only one she wants to watch. So we were watching, it was either Masters of the Air or it was Mr. and Mrs. Smith we just started, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But she's like, oh, the Grammys are on. Do you want to watch it? And I looked at her and I went, and we just kept watching the show.
But she didn't watch them either.
No, we kept watching our show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't watch. It's weird because of all of the award shows, the major award shows, the Grammys lend themselves for the best show.
Yeah.
Because
Of course. It's
performances. But it's always the one that I am not as into because I love music. I grew up in the music industry. That was what my dad was in. So, but I don't listen to any music after 1999. Like, I don't know any current music, really.
That's not true. You know Dua Lipa.
I know the Dupes.
Did I tell you that my daughter thought that was the funniest thing in the world?
You played the clip for her?
I played the clip
making
for
me
her.
less and less cool, Kristian.
She thought it was so funny.
I can't believe you didn't clip that out. I put it on Twitter.
You did it.
I thought you were going to put it on the gram, but it's a minute and 30.
Here's the problem. It doesn't matter. The problem is I am running out of time every day because I'm now, I'm doing Katie's show too, and there's like so much stuff.
How's that going?
It's going great. We just had Michael Rosenbaum on, which is great, and I just only have so much time, and I need to clip some stuff out from her show. My short game has been slacking on my own stuff right now. I used to post like 1 or 2 a day. Mm-hmm. I haven't been able to do it.
I thought you had somebody making them for you.
I do, but it doesn't mean they're not posting them. I am.
Oh, you're literally running out of time to hit post.
I'm to sit there for because it takes a good 2 to 5 minutes to be able to post them on all the things, and I have to sit there and I have to do it. And the funny thing is, right as you got here, I was like, okay, I'm gonna post 3 of these, and then you got here, I was like, shit, I need to do a thumbnail, and then I got to do this, and I got to do that. So it's.
Well, you should schedule them out the night before.
I know. I need to do that. Yeah,
because you have somebody making them, but you're just not posting.
I'm just not posting them.
That's wild. I run out of time to make things,
right?
As many things as I want.
Right.
You just literally can't.
I just don't have the time to post them, but I have a whole bunch of them just lined up to go.
And you don't want to give the person who's making them your logins.
No, because that person's already really busy also, and I could find someone else. It's a whole thing, Rox. It's a whole thing. I'll figure it out one of these days.
Yeah, I bet you will.
Yeah.
I was surprised you didn't out me for the dupes, though.
It was hilarious. And someone else posted it, and then I just reposted it because I thought it was the best.
Somebody posted it and you reposted it?
Yeah,
you didn't repost
it.
mine?
Yours. I guess that was yours that did it.
I'm someone else?
I guess. Do you want to hear what I did? Did you see Stacey Howard's tweet yesterday?
No, what?
This is worth saying because it's hilarious. So speaking of no time, I'm sitting here yesterday and I had a couple of shows and I was like, shit. I forgot to text my sister-in-law for her birthday. It's like, damn it.
You had already missed the day.
Yeah, and my dad told me the day before, he's like, don't forget, and I forgot. And I was like, shit. And I love my sister-in-law. She is the sweetest individual.
It's not a good one to forget.
No, she's I mean, you couldn't ask for a sweeter person.
Are you saying that because you forgot her birthday?
No, I would say it even if the camera wasn't on and it, just talking about her. I love her. Like I love her. Like, you get nervous when your sibling, you're like, oh my God, I hope I like them. I love her. And so yesterday I was like, yeah, I got to text her. So I pull out my phone, I said, Stacey, and I text, hi, I'm a shit brother-in-law. Happy belated birthday. So then I'm sitting there and my tweets start going off. What the hell's going on? And I see a tweet from Stacey Howard that says, not only is Kristian Harloff a shitty brother-in-law, he doesn't know her last name. And I start crying.
Oh my God.
Crying,
oh
laughing.
My God.
Crying, laughing. And I text Stacey Howard. She's like, I had to post it. I said, you absolutely
did.
Right. You deserve to post
That's
that.
amazing.
And not only
then you still didn't text her.
Of course I did.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Like immediately. But not only did I text Stacey Howard, Stacey is spelled Stacy Howard. My sister-in-law is Stacey.
Oh my God.
I didn't have these on.
Okay.
So it was a disaster. All the way around. It's a nightmare, but a funny one. And Stacey Howard actually made it really funny because she could have texted me and said wrong person.
But instead,
and she tweeted it, and I wasn't in the slightest upset.
So that's what Twitter's for.
In that aspect, absolutely. There were a few people who were like, "Oh, you guys, she's your sister-in-law," and they got it. But absolutely hilarious. I didn't tell my brother though that happened, and I'm hoping he doesn't check Twitter.
Why?
That I don't want them to know that happened.
Oh, you didn't tell your sister-in-law it happened either?
No.
Oh my God.
No, I didn't tell him that happened at all.
It would have been even better if you had actually texted Stacy for Stacy's birthday. Like if you texted Stacy Howard on Stacy's birthday. So that's why you missed her birthday. Because then you could have told her, I didn't miss your birthday.
I texted somebody else.
But you were already late.
Right. Yeah. So it didn't work out, guys.
Dupalipa.
Dupes. Dupalipa is not ugly.
No. Girl
No.
is. You know what? I actually have always thought that Steph and Dupes look very similar.
I can see. She's got a Dupalipa thing.
Totally.
For sure. She got dupes.
That's now, though, we're creating new lingo, you and I, right now.
Dupes?
Like, yeah, because if you mess something up or whatever, it's Dupes.
The dupes.
Dupes.
The dupes.
Yeah.
I've been coining a lot of nicknames and things inside of my own head that I want to stick that won't. For example,
Write them down.
No, I've already talked about it on air. That's good enough, right? Mm-hmm. Quiet Place. There's a guy. I'll just show you the moment. I call him Spins, and I want Spins to have his own spin-off because he's great. I'll show you.
Does he spin?
Yes. Hold on. Let me just show you Spins. I don't have to show you the whole trailer. Just show you Spins. Woo!
That dude?
I love that guy. He's the best. Last year he is again. Right? I want him to have his own movie. Right? Woo!
You know what's amazing too is like what happened is that extra was like, this is my moment.
100%. He knew when the camera was panning and he made his move.
And it worked because you noticed him.
And I don't think anyone else did, but I did go to the official Paramount.
To try to find who it was?
No, I just wrote at 0024, that is the ultimate. If anybody deserves a spin-off movie, it's this guy. We want Spins.
We want Spins.
Yeah, and I
did anybody respond?
I don't know yet. I did tell the audience yesterday to go to the website, to go to that, and say because have you been paying attention to everything going on in the WWE right now?
A little bit.
Right, not the Vince McMahon stuff.
Oh, what are you talking
the Rock
about?
stuff.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
A little bit, yeah.
It's so funny that so they're getting great
his daughter
publicity.
Stuff.
What's that?
You didn't see that she's getting a ton of death threats, and The
Really?
Rock came out about it. Yeah.
No, what happened?
I guess that she's been getting a ton of death threats because of what happened.
Because of him?
Yes.
Because on the storyline?
I guess so.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I saw The Rock posted about his daughter.
Come on, you don't mess with. I mean, look, you don't like what's going on in the storyline. This is the same kind of crap that. Anyway,
that's nuts.
It's crazy.
That's nuts.
It's like
whether you like it or not, which most of the fans that I know don't like it, but
nobody
that's
does.
fine.
Yeah.
What's his daughter doing?
Nothing. I think she's involved in wrestling in one aspect or another, but it has nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
And it's like that's so stupid.
So stupid.
That's so stupid. But anyway, the storyline is that Cody Rhodes. Do you remember when we had Cody Rhodes on the show?
Yeah, I remember. So I know that he was supposed to get a shot, one opportunity. This is everything he ever wanted.
Like the biggest. He's like the biggest
slip.
thing in wrestling right now.
Palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti is nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes around. He opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking now. Everybody's choking now. Clocks are out. Time's up. Over. Wow. Snap back to reality. Oh. There goes gravity. He's choking. He's so mad, but he won't give up that easy. No.
Come on. Oh, you had it. You had it.
I did.
And you had to finish.
I still know my entire tour portion, too, if you want to hear that.
No,
too.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I know what happened with Cody Rhodes. I know he's the biggest thing. I know that The Rock came in. I know people weren't happy about it. I know that.
So The Rock came in like a couple of months ago, and people were ecstatic about it.
But he took over Mania.
That's what people think. And now it looks like.
Oh, they haven't announced that he's taking over Mania?
All they said at the when he showed up, Cody Rhodes said, "I'm going to take you out to Roman Reigns." He goes, "But not at Wrestlemania." And he goes, and then he brings The Rock out, and it was certainly hinted, and then it was rumored that The Rock wanted to go main event. Rock also talked about it a couple months ago with Pat McAfee or somebody, I believe it was Pat McAfee, that there was last year or 2 years ago they were supposed to have Roman Reigns versus The Rock. The whole thing was going to happen. It just never happened. So people are excited about that. And then it seemed like that's where they were going to go with it. But the problem was that Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble.
Right.
And every time you win the Royal Rumble, you get a shot at whoever you want. And they wanted Cody to finish it. So it just wasn't set up well. So people are now going back. So when The Rock first came out in wrestling, they used to chant, because he was like the ultimate good guy. And fans did not respond to him. They would chant, "Rocky sucks."
You didn't think I was going to understand face?
What's that?
Babyface?
No. It's we want Cody chance or what's coming on now. We want Cody.
No, I'm saying when you call him the ultimate good guy.
Oh, right. The ultimate. He was the ultimate babyface. So when he was the ultimate, he would get Rocky sucks chance.
Yeah.
And that hasn't been around since like whenever 1996. So at Monday Night Raw this past week, when Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes are in the ring, the audience started chanting "Rocky sucks." Like, yeah. So I think what wrestling. I talked about this on the show yesterday. WWE has
that stinks.
It does and it doesn't.
I get it though.
WWE has an opportunity that most like studios and things don't have.
You have to pivot.
They can make it work for their story. They can make it work for their story, and I hope that they do. I hope they don't put their heels into the ground and say no. It's going to be Rock versus Roman no matter what, and it won't work. It won't work.
So what do you think they're going to do? You actually think that they're going to not do that? Because I feel like they are put your heels into the ground organization.
I think that they're going to do 2 nights now. They already have 2 nights, but I think that it's going to be The Rock versus Roman, but Roman would have to win that one because you can't have The Rock win.
And then Roman goes against Cody. That would make sense. Yeah.
It just wouldn't look as dominant. It looked and then Cody would. I think that Rock versus Roman, or
you think The Rock is going to agree to losing?
I mean, he's done it before, and it's his cousin. So I mean, maybe put him over and make it, or you could do a thing where it's like you have The Rock be a special instead of he's an advisor, or it's Cody versus Roman night 1, and then Rock fights him on night 2. I don't know. Whatever it is, I think they're gonna pivot because.
Has anybody ever fought 2 nights in a row like that?
There are more educated people in wrestling right now that will know the answer to that. I mean, as far as ever in a night or ever
back to back, like Roman and then Roman.
I don't. I mean, not main event. I don't believe, but I don't know. People will be able to tell me in the comments of that show. I know that Randy Savage fought.
His body is going to be wrecked.
Well, Randy Savage fought 4 times in one night in WrestleMania 4. It was one of the greatest. Nobody talks about that WrestleMania. It was one of my favorite WrestleManias.
If anybody could do it, I feel like it is Roman, though. He's fierce.
True, he is. Yeah, for sure. And I think what it has done, though, is that it has pivoted away from the Vince McMahon talk, which is what they ultimately wanted to do.
They did this on purpose?
I think it's part. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that they were like, we need people talking about something else other than Vince.
Yeah, I know more about this than the Vince stuff that's going on right now.
And it was trending everywhere, and they pivoted away from it.
What is the update on Vince? Is he leaving the country?
He's probably gonna have criminal charges.
Yeah,
I would assume. But again, it was the only thing anyone was talking about with WWE, and it happened right before the Royal Rumble, and then after that, it was let's pivot. And they bring The Rock in, and this whole thing, that's all anyone was talking about. Like, I talked to Mike Kalinowski yesterday, who's not a Rock fan. I mean, not a Rock fan, not a WWE fan, a wrestling fan. I shouldn't say he's not a fan, he just doesn't watch it. Mm-hmm. You, who's kind of casual, right? Everybody knows about this story. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows it. And yes, because you have The Rock involved, but because of the actual story itself. And Cody Rhodes now is a megastar now because of this.
You don't think he was a megastar before it?
He was a megastar in wrestling.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a crossover star in like household name wise. He is now. And because of this controversy. And he is such a class act, dude. Did you see a Royal Rumble? They asked both him and Triple H about Vince McMahon.
What did they say?
Cody's answer was as if he was running the company. And I like Triple H. Triple H's answer was terrible. Terrible. Like I'd rather focus on the good right now. And like
sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, I just want to focus on the good. And it was like no PR gave him any. Remember we always talk about like how Kathleen Kennedy needs a PR person. You'd assumed Endeavor would be like, this is what you say.
Yeah.
If they ask you. And Cody Rhodes it seemed like.
Yeah, but Triple H also, they could have done that, and Triple H could have been like, I'm going to say what I'm going to say because I'm Triple H.
Maybe, but he's not, he doesn't have, he's got power, but he doesn't have that kind of power. Endeavor has, and TKO has the ultimate power, and The Rock has, I think, like equal, if not more, a little more power than Triple H now, which is crazy.
Yeah,
like the dynamic shift within.
Wait, so what did Cody say?
Cody was just like, he looked at the guy, he's a great question, and he just gave like a kind of like a detailed answer about how making sure that people were protected, and it was more of like a corporate but good answer that you'd expect from like a boss, and he's not the boss,
Right.
because he's just someone. He was a boss at AEW,
Yeah.
and you can tell like it was just paying attention to it, understanding, listening, like that type of stuff.
Are you following AEW at all?
No, not at all. Everybody that I'm pretty casual now with WWE, but I do like what I do for Raw is I'll turn on Raw, and it's 3 hours, so I can't watch 3 hours, but I watch the opening like monologues, that's what they are, and then I'll watch some of the matches that are happening. I fast forward, but enough to where I can see what's going on, and if there's like a big moment, I'll rewind it. But the main people that I have been following and the kind of stars right now I follow, and then the pay-per-views I've been watching. I've been watching it more now, and I think it's in the best shape it's been in a little bit. But I'm definitely following all this. I was bummed that Punk got hurt, but because I was kind of rooting for him to see what he was going to do. But because he only has a few more years left in the tank, his body is very, very brittle right now.
We talked to him too.
We did twice. Well, once on Collider Live and then once on. He was like my first interview on this show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was doing Heels, and came on and that interview's on this channel. It was like the first kind of crossover when I took it off the old channel and put it on here was because of Punk. But
I'm surprised to hear that Mike knew everything that was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to know when you're in the world, which I'm not, but usually I know some
enough.
of this.
Yeah.
It's hard to know what's public knowledge and what's not, like what's household knowledge and what's not. So the fact that it's getting to Mike, it's like, wow, that's pretty big.
It's everywhere, and it was everywhere. It was trending all over the place, and it still is, and it's continuing on. And they're going to use it for WrestleMania, and that's why I'm saying they should pivot and they should make it work. Speaking of making it work, how's dating going? Brutal. You were hopeful that 2 weeks ago.
I know.
Stinks, huh?
Yeah, I think I'm on a little hiatus again because
what happened? There was a hopeful guy.
There
recently.
were two guys I was going out with.
Okay.
Going to go out with in that week, and the first guy ended up being like like a horrible date.
Okay.
He told me that every time he brings somebody over, they try to escape.
You told me. Wait,
Yeah.
did you tell me this? No, I saw you
I
made a post
posted
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They tried to escape. He just kept saying
You
it.
just
It was
stop
like,
using that word,
Stop using
escape.
the word. He wouldn't. And there was like a bunch of other
Did you actually
stuff.
say to him, stop using the word
I
escape?
said, would you like to use a different choice of words? It's sounding like they're prisoners.
Was he doing it to fuck with you? Or
No,
he just,
no.
No, it just wasn't connected to reality.
Yeah, you also have to. This guy was like 6'6". Like he's a huge dude.
Right. So
It's
when you
like,
say you can't escape,
and that he hunted one of them down and was like, "Why are
he
you
used the
trying to
word
escape?"
hunted
No,
down?
He said, "I went after one of them and started yelling, 'Why are you trying to escape?'"
That's a good first date, huh?
It was uncomfortable. He
No
also
shit.
asked me to AOC, which is a restaurant in Brentwood.
Okay.
Which is a restaurant.
Yeah, I know it.
And when they came to take our order, he said that we would be getting wine. And I said, I'd actually love a martini. And then he said, okay. And then they said, well, can we get you for food? He said, we're not eating.
Oh, no.
Then don't ask me to a restaurant, like a sit-down restaurant.
Right.
So then they came back to ask if we'd like another drink because I had really downed mine, Kristian, because he was telling me about the escape and I was feeling really stressed.
Who did you text in that moment?
No, he ran to the bathroom and I texted Steph.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, hey, check location. You have it.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. So then he comes back and they came over. They asked, what can we get you to drink? And he said, she's fine.
Now, wait a minute. Did he pick you up or did you guys meet there?
We met there. I would
Thank
never let
God.
somebody pick me up for a first date
Very
ever.
smart. Okay,
Never.
good. Okay, good.
Never.
Good. That's a disaster.
He asked if he could drive me home because I had Ubered and I said no. Because I'm not going to let you know
No,
where I live.
I would have been mad at you.
Especially after this. It was just crazy.
That's horrible.
Yeah, there was like 15 things about the date. I actually think he might be a nice person. Like
But just...
it was like foot and mouth, but he was made me scared. So I don't think that was his intention.
No, but she doesn't want anything to eat. She doesn't want anything to drink.
Answering for me.
Right.
Like,
did you say cut that out?
no, because at this point he'd
were
already
worried
told me
about
about the escape
escaping
stuff,
thing.
and I just was wanting to get out of there, honestly.
Oh my God. That's brutal. When did that happen?
It was
A month ago?
yeah, and then a few days later was the guy I was actually really excited about who's flying in.
So what happened with this guy? Oh, here we go.
He flew in. We'd been talking every day for a month.
Okay.
He
It's
came
the Boston guy.
No, he was in the Bay, San Francisco.
Oh, right. I remember this guy. Okay.
And then he came in, and we went on 2 dates. We went on one on Thursday, one on Friday. And I don't know. I thought they were awesome.
But what happened? Ghosted?
He was staying for the weekend with a friend. I think he had wanted to stay with me. You know me, I'm slow. So I hadn't offered that and was not comfortable with that.
Right.
So on Saturday, I knew I wasn't going to see him, but I knew he was leaving Monday. So on Saturday, we were texting, and I was like, would love to see you tomorrow. And he said to me, call you in the morning, cutie.
Nothing.
Never heard from
Ghosted.
him. Yeah, so then weeks after, I texted him because I didn't, at this point, I was like, we had only gone on 2 dates.
Sure.
And we have mutual friends, and I just didn't want things to be awkward.
Sure.
So I just texted him. I was like, hey,
This wasn't a dating app guy.
No, he was on. I met him on a dating app. We happened to have mutual friends.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay.
So I was like, hey, I just want to let you know I had a really great time with you. Was pretty bummed to not hear from you when you had said you were going to reach out. No harm, no foul. Thank you for spending time with me. Hope everything's well on your end. That just to like whatever it was. And he wrote me back and said like, you are the most amazing. It was so great. Like, absolutely, we're friends. Had the best time. Like, just not responding to the fact that he had said he was going to reach out.
Right.
So no idea.
Avoiding it.
And then I never responded to that because I was just like, okay, I just needed to kind of close the door and make sure.
At least he wrote back, even though it was kind of
he
nonsense.
wrote back. He wrote back a novel.
Right.
But
nothing that really addressed what you had said.
No, it was just super sweet about me.
Okay.
But it's like, but then why didn't you call the next day?
Right.
I didn't say that because at that point I'm done with it. But I just, at least now if I run into him, it's totally fine. I'll just say hi. But I don't really know what happened. Maybe he was like, I don't live here, so why am I doing this? But it's like, but then why did you come here? Why did you text me every day and call me every night for a month?
Yeah,
like,
it sucks
why?
not to have any answers at all.
Maybe he thought that we were going to have sex, and then when we didn't, he was like, what's the point of this?
So he bailed.
Maybe.
Well, Roxy didn't need Blue Chew that night, but maybe you guys do. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Blue Chew right now, and we'll get back to Roxy and see everything else that's going on in that world. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Come on, let's do it. Let's talk about sex. Hey guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go? Everybody, you're like, yeah, back in the day, go whenever I wanted to. Well, now you can increase your performance. You can get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up, BlueChew.com. Blue Chew's no joke. It's pretty great. It's a unique online service, and it delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. You can take them whenever, daytime, night. You can plan ahead, be ready whenever that opportunity arises. And the process is super simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you are approved, then you receive your prescription within days. And the best part? All online. No visit to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. So, for me, yes, it works. And the thing is, you know, I didn't think I needed it, but hey, you try it for a month and you see, you love it. You could be missing out on the best sex of your life. I'm telling you. They always say first impressions are important. What about lasting impressions? Do it. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. They do. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it. Love that. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. You got to try Blue Chew free, but you got to use that promo code BIGTHING at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com. Promo code BIGTHING to receive your first month free. Yeah, do you hear that? Free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we got to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Hey guys, what'd you think about that? Blue Chew. That's right. It is the best. So make sure you get it. Sign up today. And I'm also, and anytime you do, one of our wonderful sponsors, it helps out the show tremendously. But Rox, what about, I mentioned Blue Chew. Are the neighbors using Blue Chew right now?
Let me tell you, she's back.
You said she's back now. She was gone last week.
I thought she was gone.
Okay.
I don't know where this girl lives, but her car is still there.
Do you know how bad I want to interview her?
It's crazy. We're all in a group thread other than her. I've told you this. And I messaged everybody in the group thread because she had left the door open, the front door, which is very hard to do.
So the noises are happening again?
No, there were no noises.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, does anybody know who's in that apartment right now? Because, I don't know if it's still that girl or not. And everybody responded, was like, no, it's still her. And then one person responded and was like, yeah, I actually saw her giving a tour of our garage to people. And I was
What's
like,
the tour of the garage? This is where I put my mattress?
I mean, I live in a tiny building.
Yeah.
There's like a handful of us. Tour of the garage. The garage is the size of this
Right.
room. So I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, I think she's trying to sell her spot. But you
Parking
can't.
spot?
Yeah, but it's not like a public garage. Like, I live in like a very residential.
Roxy, you got to get her on the show.
And still,
There's
her
so many
car is parked
questions.
next to me. Her windshield is smashed. Like,
This is like a groundbreaking interview.
I know.
There's so many things I want
But
to
I
ask
haven't
her.
seen her.
Knock on the door
I haven't seen her.
and say, your life is fascinating to me.
I mean, you know, I have cameras. I check all the cameras. I haven't seen her.
If you see her, your life is fascinating. We want you on the show.
No, never.
What do you mean?
Literally never. I will
Why?
never do that.
Can I come over?
No.
Fine.
But I will try to keep investigating.
All right.
But where did the noises go?
Right. It just stopped, right?
Yeah, but I haven't seen her, so maybe she's not, even though her car's there, maybe she's not staying there.
And this is what disturbs me about not having an interview. We're never going to know.
Mm-hmm.
And if we have an interview, we'll know. No. We won't know?
No.
We will know. You just don't want to go down that path.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe you should. Dupalipa.
Dupes.
Anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Comment about all the stories and whatnots. You tuned in, you're like, wait a minute. They're not talking about any of this stuff they talked about up top. Welcome to Thursday. We will talk about this stuff. And I want to talk about this first one, though. This was kind of out of nowhere. Roxy said right before we started going on the air, she goes, Moana 2 is coming out. I was like, oh, the live action? She's like, no, Moana 2. I was like, oh, I didn't know they were announcing it. She's like, and it's coming out this year. It's like, what? Like, that never happens. As part of its Disney shareholder meeting today, Disney chief Bob Iger made a surprise announcement. A sequel to the company's hit 2016 animated film Moana is not only in the works, but it's coming out this fall. Disney also premiered the first official photo and logo teaser, which you can see below. Iger says that the project was originally planned as a TV series, so there you go. But early on, the company opted to retool it and produce it as a second film. The film takes audiences on an expansive new voyage with Moana, Maui, and a brand new crew of unlikely seafarers. After receiving an unexpected call from her wayfinding ancestors, Moana must journey to the far seas of Oceania into danger's long-lost waters for adventure unlike anything she's ever faced. The new movie will be directed by Dave Derrick Jr. with music by winners Abigail Barlow and Emily Baer, Apadia Foy, and Mark Mancina. It's not clear what cast will return from the first film. The original film was a major box office success, making over $680 at the box office, and still sits regularly very high on streaming charts, across 1 billion hours streamed on Disney Plus last year. The project is separate from the live-action adaptation in the works, which will see Dwayne Johnson reprise his role as Maui. Now, there is a first look announcement. Did you see this yet, Rox?
No.
Let's see this. Well, I know who's going to be excited about that. My 6-year-old.
And me.
And yeah, I'm excited about it too. I mean, look, here's the only thing that makes me skeptical. Because, first of all, I think it's a good move to do what they did because this was the Bob Iger thing. He came back and he goes, oh my God, Chapek, all you're doing is streaming. It's like who was Michael Eisner, who ran it before, and he used to take all the movies, the Lion Kings and the Aladdins, and put them all direct to DVD and make tons of money off the VHS tapes and all that kind of stuff, the DVDs. And this is kind of what Chapek was trying to do with streaming. And then they're making a TV series out of Moana, which during the streaming time, well, that makes sense. You do a Moana series. But Chapek's like, why don't we just turn this whole thing? Basically,
Iger.
what I say, Chapek?
Yeah.
Sorry, Iger. But doing the same thing that they essentially doing with Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. Let's just turn that into a movie.
Yeah. This is, unfortunately and fortunately, this is the smartest move. Right now, they're like, we need money. And
You need to make money.
We need money. We need to make money.
Right.
What makes us money? Moana 2. 100% going to make
In
money.
November, if it comes out.
In November
Sure.
for Thanksgiving time.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Like, this is, I'm not trying to say it's a sure bet like any movie ever is a sure bet, but this is a sure bet as a sure bet can be.
It's got a good shot. The quality of it is going to be interesting to see, like, would the show had been great, maybe, right?
But I still think that this is going to make more money than the show would have, even if the quality isn't great.
Of course, I agree. What about The Rock? Is The Rock coming back for this?
I think that they said that it's hopeful that he does.
Right. But that's crazy. It's hopeful that he does. It's February.
Yeah.
This comes out in November.
Yeah, I can't believe this. When I read it, I was like, what?
It's crazy.
Is it a weird... wild.
So they didn't say anyone's coming back. So basically what they would have to do...
No, they said she's coming back for sure.
She's coming back. So what I assume is that for the TV show, they didn't land The Rock. And they probably had somebody who either sounded like him or something like that. And then they were going to just record the lines with that guy. And then they're going to go, let's pay The Rock to just do over the lines.
But the reason that I feel he's definitely going to do this is that he is doing Moana live action.
Right.
And so there's going to probably be a Moana live action too, based on Moana.
If it does well.
Yeah,
right?
if it does well. And he's going to want to be in it.
Of course. And he's going to be pretty busy right now, as we were just talking about with the WWE. But
finding time to do VO is
you can definitely do this. They can get him. They should get him to do this. They should, because if they don't, I think it's gonna take away from the movie, because people will be talking, oh, they didn't get him back. Is it not that good? Why didn't he come back?
Yeah, Moana is one of the best of, especially
the new age.
Yeah,
it's a really good movie
for sure. Like Moana is as good as some of the ones that I grew up with. So I think that this is really smart. I hope it doesn't suck, because I think even if it sucks, it still will make money, and they don't need it to be amazing. But I hope they make it amazing anyway.
All right. So what I want to do is I want to see. We're going to go to November of this year and see what the competition is right now, if anything, in November. Right now, you've got the amateur Untitled Venom sequel, Alto Knights, Red 1, The Fifth Element, Gladiator 2. November 27th was Untitled Disney Animation. So that was it. It was planned.
Up against Wicked, that
different audience.
It is and it isn't, because Wicked, for the 12-year-old,
I know what you're saying. The ones who maybe grew up with Moana and then have aged into like the musical and stuff. Like look at like Vivian, my daughter. My daughter will, but that's two movies for them to potentially watch. I think.
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy competition, but I do think that that's the only one of the movies that you named. And I'm like, some audiences.
But Thanksgiving, it was planned.
Yeah,
it was planned already, because Untitled Disney. So they had this planned out, and just they wanted to make sure they had all their ducks in a row.
What else were they going to put there?
Right. So they had it planned out.
This is wild.
It's crazy. It's a crazy story. You don't hear about it often, but I do think if they can get it all together, which it seems obviously they are, otherwise he wouldn't have made that announcement. Yeah, you're right. If they hit it, if it's decent, it's going to make hand over fist.
I'm curious about the music on this.
Right, because it's not done by what's his
Lin-Manuel.
It's not, right?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with this.
We don't know anything about it.
I don't know.
We don't know anything about it.
But the music makes or breaks Moana 2.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that.
I've been. You don't know?
Dancing around
Sitting
the
at
place.
the edge of the water.
Yeah, I know it.
Long as I can remember.
Fleedle-deedle-doo.
Fleedle-deedle-doo. That's the next line.
All right. Here's the next line.
I wish I could be the perfect daughter.
Go jump in the water.
I go back to the water. It's close. Yeah.
Close. Okay.
Matter how hard I try. Oh.
I like when you sing to me, Roxy. Hey, what you doing? Why you get upset? Every time I come in, I say, hello, Roxy. You go, it's me.
Especially when we're talking about kids' shows.
Well, that's true. That's true. Well, I'll be nice, okay? I'll be nice. How about this? Would you give me a bath?
No.
Oh. No. But the water, I can talk to the water. I can make the water do tricks.
I know that I'm
an accommodating person. I'm supposed to say yes, but no.
I like that you can talk to me in my voice, kind of.
Yeah, I know.
How do you do that? Are you flirting with me?
No, definitely not.
Roxy, when are we gonna, me and you get married?
Never.
We not get married?
No, you should go take some Blue Chew and find someone else.
Oh, I do. I don't need no Blue Chew. I got my own nuts.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go eat some peanut butter and lick it off a dog. See you later.
He's something else, that freaking little chipmunk.
He always comes in that picture when you're gone, Kristian.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
No, it's weird. It's like your tweet. You still have that pinned? The Batgirl Batman tweet?
I think probably.
It's still there.
It's been there for like a decade.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I want to show you this.
Yeah, what do you show me?
I brought this up last week, and I'm so excited. Capes and Cowls comic book. You got them. You got 1, you got issue 2, and as you just heard him before, Big Balls is on the cover of 3, and people are loving him so far. We really want to get your take on it. So the link's in the description. Go check it out, and you can get exclusive issues digitally on Patreon.
I'm
So
in there.
You are. You're the villain.
Are you in there?
Yeah, that's me. I'm right there. Looks just like me, right? I thought so. No?
That's good.
Okay.
Who's next to you?
Winston and Coy, I think. Yeah, Coy's over here, and then Winston. Yeah.
Koi always gets to look cool.
Yeah. So, all right, listen. I want to get to the rest of these stories and the things we're going to do, TV and then the Marvel thing. But before I do, let me tell you real quick about AG1 and Factor. Love them both. Here you go. All right, guys. Let's talk about AG1. You guys know I love AG1. If you've been listening to my show, you've heard me talk about them, and I've been drinking them for about 2 years now, and I love it. Never been a vitamins guy. I've told you that. I take it all one shot, AG1. I put it in a water bottle. I shake it up. I'm good to go. I recommend AG1 to my friends. I recommend AG1 to my family. Everybody. AG1 is a team of doctors and scientists. It is tested for 950 contaminants and NSF certified for sport. It is formulated based on the latest science and maintains high quality standards. You guys know they've been with us for a while because you guys know too. You've all been checking them out, and everybody who's been signing up to AG1 says the same thing. It's changed your energy. It's changed how you approach things in the day. You're smiling more. You're running around the place, and you're sleeping better. I know. AG1 is the supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why they've been a partner for so long. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and you get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/bigthing. drinkag1.com/bigthing. Check it out. For the show, as I mentioned before, really helps if you're able to and you have the means to and you want to support us, but you want to support yourself. This is great. With AG1 and Factor. Have you tried Factor yet?
No.
Oh, you'll love it, especially for you, because Factor it's just like the meals that they have. The chefs just pre-prepared meals. You put them in on the run because you don't have the time to cook.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. I gave
Okay.
Brett a bunch
Proteins?
of them. Yeah, oh yeah.
Why you give stuff to Brett, not me?
Because he was here. You weren't here. If you were here, I would have given it to you.
I'm here
Not now. I don't have anything.
because Brett took it all.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't even bother to show up.
Bastard. He's going to be back next week, I think. I hope. All right. I wanted to talk to you guys before we get to TV. As we were talking about, like, we were in an age, especially when Roxy and I been doing shows now together for like 10 years, which is crazy. But when we started doing shows, like Marvel was really in its height. I think at the first show we ever did, it was like Guardians of the Galaxy was like coming out, or it was in that time period. And Marvel was really hitting their stride. The first Force Awakens was right around the corner. And
Man of Steel.
Like, so DC was trying to make the push. So everything was kind of in their height at that time. Since then, we've seen a lot of different things happen, right? We've seen the rise and fall of the DCEU. You know, we saw the rise and fall of Marvel, I should say.
Rise of Skywalker.
The rise and fall of Skywalker.
Skywalker.
And it just hasn't gotten back there, in a lot of different reasons, I think, why all these things have happened. Out of the 3 of these properties, which one has the opportunity to bounce back? Because they're all in a position to strike right now. You've got DC, which has Superman, and it's got James Gunn, who was a major part of Marvel for a long time, and then you've got Supergirl cast already. You've got the potential new Batman. You have all these things. They're poised to really, and Peacemaker and all these different things, and even the DC brand in general. You got Joker, you got Batman Part 2, so they're ready. Star Wars has the Mandalorian movie. They've got the Rey movie coming out. They've got the Mangold thing announced, whether or not that happens. And they have the Acolyte. They got Skeleton Crew, and then something else. And then you've got Marvel, which has Deadpool, right? They got Captain America coming out. They have Daredevil, and there's a few other Blade.
Agatha.
So out of those 3 of the big brands right now, which do you think has the best opportunity to hit with the fans, hit with box office? Who's going to be the champ for the next couple of years?
I actually think that DC is in the best position right now,
Okay.
which is kind of biased of me because, based on you, I hosted DC Movie News for 7 years, and I want DC to have the best shot. So, but I also think they genuinely do because they have the hardest. Right now they're doing an entire reboot, other than the Peacemaker stuff and Batman and possibly the character of Blue Beetle.
Right.
But for the most part, we're starting over with a new Batman, with a new Superman, even though in Elseworlds that Batman's going to be there. And because of that, I think and they're casting relatively unknowns for Superman, and they're going with the TV actors for Superman, for Lois.
Right.
So I think that they're just starting and they're saying, we are doing this different. We're doing this new. We want to get people on from jump. It took 10 years for them to decide they weren't doing a Man of Steel 2. We got one Superman movie. So I think that they're really looking at the entire slate. They know where they want to go with Superman and Batman. They can build to a Justice League because the previous Justice League, whether you love Snyder or don't, it definitely was forced and came a little too soon. They have all of the ability right now with Gunn and with their new layout to say, okay, what do we want to do? What works for DC? And that's different than Marvel. I got into it with Hector Navarro a week ago. Love Hector. We just are on two different sides of this coin. About Marvel, where I really think that Marvel needs to do a hard restart. And he's like, that's the worst idea on the planet. And we discussed it. You can check out on Only Stupid Answers. But I understand where he's coming from. But I think
You're saying rebooting everything, new Iron Man and everything?
Rebooting, recasting. I know.
Yeah.
I'm sure you disagree. I get it. But I have Marvel fatigue with like the way that it keeps going. And I also feel bad for the generations after us that in order to watch a project, you have to watch 45 other effing properties right now.
Right.
DC, you're not going to have to do that. We're starting from scratch. Same thing with Star Wars. Star Wars isn't as heavy as Marvel is into their own, like, you need to watch this, but we are focusing on Rey. Of course, that means that they want you to have watched that even with some of their series. Mandalorian, they want you to have watched that even with the show that everybody loves that I thought was fine. Andor, prequel. Like, we're dealing with all characters that we've dealt with. So I think that DC is the best shot to be fresh and new.
I don't disagree with that. And I understand your point with the Marvel thing, but I think there's a way to do that without resetting everything because they have all that, what it is. I think that...
But till when, Kristian? Like, forever?
No, not forever. Well, I mean...
How many phases?
Because I think there's a way to do it to start fresh with them by doing what they're doing with Deadpool. And that's why I think they're in a good position. Because with Deadpool, to me, the Marvel future past the multiverse is the X-Men and Fantastic Four.
Of course, yeah.
Because you can start fresh with those. You can always, like, the history is the history. Those things are the things. But you won't have to rely on watching Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, anything
but
that
we keep the Avengers forever?
I mean, you keep them as they were, and you go back. They're part of history in the same way that,
we never recast Iron Man?
I don't think so. I mean,
ever?
I mean, I don't know about ever, but I mean, for the time being, I don't think you need to because you can focus on the X-Men. You've got enough core characters in the X-Men with Wolverine, Cyclops, Storm, Rogue. You have so many people you could do there. You could do single movies of these people and then do a big, instead of Avengers, X-Men movie and do it that way. And then whatever they're doing with Fantastic Four, they got to get past the multiverse thing. And that probably is not going to end until 2026, 2027. And then you have a whole restart. So to answer your question, you could probably do a restart with Iron Man and all that stuff in 10, 20 years if you wanted to.
Okay, so at some point.
You could. I just don't think now is the answer to that. But I think that it's not nuts to do it eventually. But I think that right now there's still stories to tell that you can still make it fresh to do it, but they have to still pull back on some of these lesser known things because they're not the Marvel of old where they're like, we're hitting on every movie. Oh, let's do a Guardians movie that nobody knows.
But what about Black Panther? What about Shang-Chi? What about some of these properties that were like, where are we going?
Right. Well, that's what they need to do. And that's why the way that they did this, they're a mess right now as far as storytelling goes. It's like, what's the story? And that's why I think Deadpool has an opportunity. If Deadpool hits, and resets and puts us into a place like, oh, that's where you guys are going. If Deadpool does that, then Marvel puts themselves in a position to be the Marvel of old if they can continue. But then you get something like, well, Agatha, and I love Catherine Hahn, but what's Agatha in the grand scheme of things? Like, what does it mean in the grand scheme of things besides, oh, it's just a good show? Okay, well, you haven't had a lot of good shows because Secret Invasion wasn't a good show. Echo was okay. Daredevil looks like it could be really good, but what are they doing as far as tones? But I agree with your points that DC has the opportunity to, if they hit with Superman and then Supergirl and they do it without bombarding you with so many stuff like Marvel, they're in a good position.
Because we're in phase 1.
Yeah. Star Wars is, I just don't, I think that what Marvel and DC have that Star Wars doesn't, and for some reason, just even though it's been clear as day that this is the problem, this have still not come to this. They have no plan. There's just no plan. It's like, well, we're going to do a Mandalorian movie. Why? Because, well, we were working on a season, but we realized people like Mandalorian, so we're going to do the movie. And
Call it by its name.
Mandalorian and Grogu.
Thank you.
But I do think that they, I think that it's a good move to do that, but I just think that there was no plan to do it. It's like they didn't know what movie they were going to go with first, and then we're going to do a Rey movie because everybody liked Rey, and Rey made $1 billion, so we're going to do a Rey movie.
And you feel like Marvel has a plan right now?
I think they have more of a plan.
I agree with that, and I feel like it's very possible that Safran and Gunn are the ones with the most plan right now, because that's their whole job, and it relies on this.
I agreed. I just think that Marvel, the only reason that I would give Marvel the slight edge,
because they've done it.
They've done it. They have the tools monetarily to do it right now because of the success and everything they had and the Disney backing and everything too. They can keep failing and keep trying. DC can't. Like if
if this is bad, they're
right. Right.
Yeah, they get one shot, one opportunity. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, Superman. No, I don't. But Superman fails. If Superman fails, it's over already. It's over. Now, if Deadpool fails, then your idea of restarting starts to become very more realistic to try to do. Mm-hmm. But I don't think Deadpool's going to fail. I think Deadpool's going to do. I think it's going to be $1 billion movie.
What are they doing with Black Widow?
Nothing.
What are they doing about
I just think that's the
Wanda? What are they?
This is the old phase. I think they're trying to push, and that's what I'm saying.
So we just use none of the characters, and we use Cap, but different Cap.
You got to push to X-Men. You have to push to X-Men.
Yeah.
X-Men has to be the future of Marvel.
Well, that's kind of a hard reboot. I'm not saying it's a hard reboot on our other characters, but it's like you're completely changing focus,
and that's why. So that's why I'm agreeing with you, yet disagreeing with you at the same time.
Yeah,
you know
I hear you.
Like I think that you can absolutely reboot it, refresh, not dismiss that and say that's not canon anymore.
No, I don't want there to be an Iron Man 1 in a year. That would be crazy. I just don't want to keep doing what they're doing, which is so spotty.
It's so spotty. It's like, so I think that once you get past this phase, X-Men's going to give them the opportunity to do it. But that's why I think Deadpool's so important. So I'll give the slight edge to Marvel. I'm going to give the slight edge because of Deadpool if they set it up, and I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. But if that movie doesn't explain stuff and how this is going to work into the future, then DC's starting to look like they can win.
When is Deadpool?
July. End of July. Right around the corner.
Big deal.
It is. All right. I ask you guys this. What do you think out of the three of them? Who's in the best position right now? Get the comments going. Get the debate started. All right, we're going to end the show with this. Roxy, we got some TV. We got some good TV. What do we got?
Mr. and Mrs. Smith is obviously, I was really excited about this because I love Donald Glover and I love Maya Erskine because she comes over from Pen 15, which is one of my and Steph Sabra's favorite shows. The entire show relies on these two having chemistry, and lucky for us, they do, which is really apparent in episode 1. I watched this entire, I think it was 8 episodes. Wow. I watched it in one sitting.
One sitting?
Kristian, I was really into it.
Good Lord.
I thought it was super fun. I was up until 4. I was just like, let me binge on through.
Good ending?
Because I really wanted to get to some of the drama. Okay. And we do, I think we start, this is a different premise than Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the movie. We start here being hired by the same organization and working together.
Right.
Which is different than the movie.
Yeah.
And I actually thought that was really smart. But okay, at some point we got to build to something, right? We can't just stay all hunky-dory forever. And so I thought that this season ended perfectly.
Okay.
I loved the two of them. I think this is must-watch because of just how enjoyable of a ride it was. You only saw this first episode.
First episode. What's funny about that is when I told my wife about it, she's like, "Why are they remaking everything?" I said, "Let's give it a shot." We did. She loved the first episode because it's so different.
Mm-hmm.
It was very well paced, and the drama of it didn't try to go over the top with it. It's and Donald Glover is great and she's great. I didn't know Pen 15, so this is kind of my first introduction to her, and I think that they worked great together enough so that I want to go back and watch episode 2.
Yeah. Okay, good. Let me know how it
Yeah.
is. I already know how it is, and that's very good.
Cool.
Okay, Death and Other Details. This is a Hulu show that has Mandy Patinkin and Violet Bean, who I actually interviewed back in the day because she was in the DC universe. I interviewed her with Joe Starr and Jay Muse for a Screen Junkies show, and she is awesome. I'm so excited to see her at the lead of this show. It kind of is like Only Murders in the Building, After Party, Murder Mystery, sometimes a little campy. They're doing a really good job with this. They're releasing an episode a week, and I am noticing that I am watching it right as it drops because I want to know what's the next thing.
Yeah.
Is it the absolute best murder mystery show ever? I don't think so, but is it super engaging and entertaining, and you're watching and you're just like, oh, that was cool. Yep, for sure. And I love Mandy Patinkin, and so does Grammy. So this is a good one for her too.
I love Mandy Patinkin also ever since The Princess Bride, man. All right, what's next?
I finished Percy Jackson and the Olympians. This is my first exposure to Percy Jackson.
Right.
I didn't read it, didn't see the movie. Just it was a movie, right? That's what it was.
It was a movie, yeah, but it was books first.
Books and then a movie. Just watched the show. I was surprised with how young this, like, to me, I thought this was gonna kind of be like Harry Potter, and it read so much younger. It kind of read like the first Harry Potter movie and the second one a little bit. And I just had forgotten. I felt too old to be watching this, to be honest. Like I enjoyed it. And I was like, oh, this is cute. And if I had nieces and nephews to watch this with, this would be a cute thing. But it definitely
Skews younger.
Skews young.
Okay.
Masters of the Air, Apple TV Plus. They've thrown every dollar in the world at this, and it shows because this is filmed just so beautifully and so cinematically. And there was a big thing that happened in this most recent episode that I think a lot of people were shocked about. I won't reveal what it was, but they're definitely dropping big moments throughout, and nobody's safe. I will say that.
So I watched this one, and I'm a big Band of Brothers fan.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite shows of all time. I like this show. I don't love this show.
Okay.
The problem I have with this show is
Do you love the way it looks?
Yes, but I do feel sometimes that the actors in this are playing dress up.
I did hear from some people that they feel like some of the lines, it just like feels forced from some of them.
It just feels like they're dressing up. And it's what haircut does Austin Butler have? What is that? Where's that supposed to be from? What era?
I don't know.
It's not from 1943.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know where this from. I like him a lot.
I like him too. It doesn't bother me, and I feel like they're not doing that, but I get the criticism.
Yeah, it's like there's just sometimes when they're acting, I'm like, oh, they're acting. They're acting, and it didn't feel like.
Is it usually when they're in the bar and not in the planes?
Yeah, and my wife made this point. She's like, it's like a lot of it is kind of repeating the same thing. They're at a restaurant. They're eating in the cafeteria. They're going on their mission. They're in the plane. Something happens. They go back to the cafeteria. They're in the room. It's like she's like, it's got to switch. We're only in 2 episodes in. So
okay.
far,
Third one. So you haven't gotten to the Africa route?
No. Not
Okay.
yet.
So
Right.
that changed things up a
changes
little
up,
bit,
okay.
and I was excited to see, like, okay, what does this mean?
All right, the entire audience is gonna be looking forward to this one. What is
Yeah,
it?
of course. This is The Bachelor. I just love Joey. I love
Yeah, okay.
him. Although this week have you
something
talked
stupid?
at all about Gypsy Rose on the show?
Who's that?
Oh
Who's
my
that? I don't know
God!
who that is.
Gypsy Rose, she got out of prison for killing her mom. The whole thing with the mom made her what's it called, syndrome, where she
Stockholm?
No, she made her sick for her whole life.
Oh,
and then
like,
she
like Sixth Sense.
yeah. Did you see the act with Patricia Arquette that's based on this?
Oh, okay, no.
Okay. Oh my God!
Okay, all right.
We have to go down a whole
Okay.
Gypsy Rose rabbit hole. Different show, but
Different show.
I'll teach you everything about
Okay.
Gypsy Rose. Anyway,
Can't wait.
They showed him a picture of Gypsy Rose on a on a Betches sketch this week or interview, and he thought that it was Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which was hysterical.
Yeah.
Anyway, this show is really, I like Joey at the helm. There was crazy drama this week. One of the girls is an actual socio, it seems.
Oh.
She said she went to Joey and was like, she called me dumb. And, like, she names like 4 things, and the other woman just never said that. And it's like,
Yeah.
do you know you're on camera or no?
Right.
And I thought she was an absolute loon, and I was like, get her out of the show, get her out of the house. She's crazy. But then I saw her best friend is Ashley Iconetti, and I'm super
Oh.
confused by that because Ashley's posting with her, and Ashley's like, you don't know what's really going on behind the scenes. And I'm like, wait, what? Like,
Well, the edit will change. Remember, Ashley was not.
I know.
We know Ashley, and Ashley's a sweetheart.
yes,
And
I
she
know.
was- she
So
was
it's like,
edited
I
very-
could be wrong. I don't want to
Yeah.
rip on this girl, and then there's stuff I don't know. But I will say the edit she got makes her seem batshit.
All right. Well, look, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot to watch. So, have you watched any of that stuff? Do you like any of that stuff? Comment. Tell us what you think. Leave comments on all this stuff and hit that button. Subscribe to the channel. Roxy, where can they find you?
Everywhere at Roxy Striar.
That's easy enough.
Oh, gunplaymovie.com. Don't forget, DJ talked about it last week. Gunplaymovie.com. Go support so DJ's movie can be made with me in it.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. And we'll see you soon. See you tomorrow. Bye.